So is it only you who can you record, Marie? It seems like it's only you who can record since you made the meeting.
I can record, and it says here recording has started.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
okay.
I hope
it's
fine.
I'll share the presentation again, and you can see it. You can let everyone in.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, I'll let them in.
Good morning, everyone. We're waiting for a few more who's been patiently waiting in the lobby for a minute. Thanks for your patience, everyone. And with that, I think we're going to get started. Again, warm welcome, everyone. Can anyone give a thumbs up that you're hearing me okay? Yeah, great. My name is Sarah Olsson. On behalf of the project MyRap, I'm from Gothenburg and Company in Gothenburg, our destination management organization. You're all very warm welcome. Before we're starting, I would like to just mention that we are recording this webinar. We're going to share it with you afterwards. It's good for you to know that we are recording for your information. And with that, we're going to get started. So welcome to this webinar on sustainability within the project MyRap, which stands for Music Industry Resilience Acceleration Program, a 3-year project co-funded by the European Union and the program Interreg Baltic Sea region. And although I have the honor, again, my name is Sarah Olsson from Gothenburg & Co. in Gothenburg. I have the honor to co-host this meeting. This project is really a result of joint efforts and forces. So we have 9 project partners from across the Baltic Sea region. And our lead partner is from Hamburg Music. And today we hosting this first webinar in our webinar series from MyRap. We have the working group who's been working on this key topic, which is consisting of Trond Moe Larsen, which you see here from the music office in Oslo. And we also have Anja Tarnowska and her colleague Marek Masojewski. Hope that was correct, from the cultural department of municipality of Bydgoszcz, Poland. And we are not alone in this meeting. We're very happy that we have so many of you joining us, besides the partnership of the meeting, of course, of the project. We have over 50 participants, I think, from 12 different countries, and total, I think, 25 different cities from across Europe. But we also have participants from UNESCO cities in United Arab Emirates and Palestine, which we're really, really excited about. And although we will not have time, pardon? Any question there? Oh. And although we are so many of us that we won't have time for a long introductory round presenting everyone, the group consists of a wide range of different sectors, all connected to the music industry and music ecosystem in different ways. So we have municipalities, event organizers, festivals, we have music offices, business support organizations, we have representation from academia, and more. And this is really a lot of what this project is about: cross-border exchange and knowledge exchange. So a brief introduction of our agenda for this webinar. We're very happy to have Dr. Teresa Moore, Director of A Greener Future, joining us from Buckinghamshire, addressing the topic of this key area of the project, sustainability and the music ecosystem. And with that, I would like to also clarify that the focus area sustainability in this project, we are focusing on green sustainability, so to speak, environmental sustainability, being a really big area to focus on, of course, when it comes to the music ecosystem and festivals and the impact we want to help reduce in this industry, depending on transnational exchange. And after Teresa gives us an introduction to the topic, setting the tone, we will present the project more in detail and the results that we have come up with within this focus area of the sustainability and the tools that we've put together based on piloting. And since we are so many, although you are more than welcome to interrupt with short clarification questions during the presentation, we would be happy if you save longer questions for our open Q&A at the end. And we'd be happy to answer all questions and wonders that you might have. And with that, I would like to again welcome Dr. Teresa Moore to present the sustainability focus area connection to music ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Just bear with me while I share my screen. Oops. And I hope that everybody can see that now. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. And thank you for inviting me to present at this session, at this webinar. I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of background about A Greener Future, introduce myself, of course, before I go on to highlight some of the key areas that we've been considering and working on through two major projects in the last couple of years. So it'll give you a sort of flavour of the focus that we have just at the moment. Myself, I'm a director at A Greener Future. I'm also co-founder of our annual conference, Green Events and Innovation. More about that at the end. And I'm head of newly launched A Greener Future Education, which is sort of dear to my heart, really. A Greener Future, founded in 2006. We launched our first sustainability standard for events in 2007, and it was a world first. Life has changed considerably since then, but we really were out there right at the beginning. And what we did was we launched our certification. Some of you may be aware of it. And this is a voluntary scheme, but it provides an independent audit and external verification of the green measures that events are putting in place. And it's helpful for them to see exactly where they are and where they need to get to. So far, since we started, we've worked with over 1,000 events and venues worldwide. And interestingly, from day one, we were international. This is not just a country specific thing. It affects everybody. And alongside that, when we decided to introduce and professionalize our own training, we've trained over 1,500 people in the AGF criteria worldwide again. And here they are. So these are the criteria we use for our certification. Most of these areas will be familiar with you, but what it does do is put a structure in place that people can actually collate all their activities, their documentation, their evidence under those general headings. And this year is going to be a big year for us. We've been working through the winter, started last October, to go digital with our certification. In the past, up until now, it's been a fairly manual process, but we decided the time was right. Obviously, it takes a lot of investment. So we are simplifying our certification. It is going to be digital to make it a lot easier for events and our assessors to actually conduct the audits and write the reviews and the reports. But beyond that, from our early days, we have developed a whole series of different services that we now provide. So if events are not ready for certification, we provide a diagnosis and we also do a gap analysis so that people can see exactly where they are. Since COVID, really, CO2 analysis has been a big thing for us, a lot of interest in that. People want to understand exactly what their emissions are. Our training and education we introduced in 2017. And with AGFE being launched last year, we also have brought together our research and we accredit university and professional courses externally. Beyond that, we have consultancy and we work with a whole series of large and small organisations on particular areas of interest that they want help with. We have a membership scheme, and as I said, we have an annual conference. And beyond that, just as I'm doing today, we conduct webinars for various industry bodies and organisations, as well as representing the industry in terms of where and how we should be moving forward. Just a little bit about the training. As I said, it's close to my heart. We run our very successful assessor training 3 times a year, both in person and online, but we also have training in events, policy and strategy. We're working with accessibility and sustainability in that whole area, which until 2024, nobody was really working in that space. We also have training in greener touring and offer bespoke training for organisations and teams. Who do we work with? Well, it's grown and grown. We started with music festivals, but now we work with general events. We work a lot with venues through our Greener Arena assessment, festivals, of course, sports, tours. We are working to green the supply chain. We work with local authorities and municipalities, and also brands and sponsors. And here are just a snapshot of some of the events and festivals that we've worked with over the last few years. I was looking for one which was in your region, but sadly couldn't find it. We have worked with Oya Festival for many years, and that should be on there. I'll make sure it is in future. Recent projects, and these are very wide. We worked on a framework for eco festivals in Bogota, Colombia. That was last autumn. Most recently, we've produced the No Climate Action Without Us toolkit with Attitude is Everything and Julie's Bicycle. This is the intersection between sustainability and accessibility. We did a gap analysis for Festival Cervantino, which is a huge 3-week festival in Mexico. We did the analysis for the Bring Me Horizon tour, so carbon analysis to reduce carbon emissions from touring. We also have created a Green Artist Rider, but the two I want to focus on today are the Liverpool UK UN Accelerator City, which is a very big project in bringing together all the events and venues within a city to see how the city can work together to reduce its emissions. And that was started in 2024 with our work with Massive Attack on the 1.5 Climate Accelerator gig, which was staged in Bristol. Beyond that, research, I think one interesting one perhaps is, do green festivals change lives? Very difficult to research. There's not much out there because it's so difficult, but we made a start in 2024. And on our website, every year we collate all the data from all the events that we've assessed, just to work out what the trends are, where things are going, where people are focusing their attention. So you can access that on our website. Right, so that in brief is a little bit of background to our work at A Greener Future. Now I want to move on to why we're doing it all and what we see as the key issues. So we know now in 2024, we reached what was supposed to take 12 years, but actually took 7 years, a global increase in temperatures worldwide of 1.5 degrees above the average set. And we're beginning to see the effects of that in the festival and events world. It's alarming, but we're now looking at 2 degrees increase and what we can do to avoid that. But it has repercussions, obviously, and we see it year on year. And I just put together a few examples, one of which, who would have thought in the east of London at a festival called All Points East, they would have to shut it for the day because of a dust storm in London, climate change. Obviously, we've seen it around the world. Taylor Swift's Brazilian concert hammered by extreme heat. We're getting that in Northern Europe as well, and the effects of that. Water, the problems with water and extreme heat. High winds, extreme temperatures. We saw it at Burning Man with flooding, unprecedented. So we're seeing in reality the effects of that 1.5 degree increase in global average temperatures. Alongside that, I should just say, actually go back to that, one of the things that we think is really important, and it's great to see that this project has focused on it, is resilience and adaptation. Having looked at all of these happenings at events, these extreme weather events, the industry has got to be more resilient and ready to adapt because this is the new norm. As I said, on top of that, another area that is really of great importance is biodiversity. And we're seeing an increasing interest from events and festivals that we work with who want to know more about the biodiversity on the sites in which they're running their events. So mainly outdoor sites, but it actually does also affect indoor and venue and urban sites. So we know that 70% of biodiversity has been lost in the last 50 years. Which again is alarming for many, many reasons, from soil to food production. It's in par with the increase in global temperatures. So we are looking at biodiversity as an organisation, and we are providing assessments, on-site assessments, to help events understand what's on their site, the ecology of their site, and what mitigation they should put in place, if any. But back to Liverpool and Massive Attack, the UN Accelerator City. Basically, we focused on three things. We focused on primarily the three biggest generators of carbon emissions. So number one was energy, and that's why we called it Plug and Play, because we were looking at how we could reduce emissions from smarter energy use, but also transition to renewables. And we worked a lot with Ecotricity, who's one of our major green energy suppliers in the country. We also worked, as I said, in 2024 with the Massive Attack 1.5 Climate Action Accelerator. The focus was on highlighting these issues. Could we actually produce the greenest event ever, one-day gig, outdoor gig? And as I said, we focused on energy. So we looked at whether we could actually bring the grid to the site, which is by far the plug and play aspect. And in some respects you can, but for other sites you can't. So what else can you do? Well, we also looked at bringing battery power on site, batteries powered by renewable energy. So again, there was no diesel, no other forms of, not even biofuels on site. We used huge batteries that were solely powered by renewable energy. We didn't stop at that because number two of the big emitters is travel and transport. So we worked with the city in Bristol and we tried to do the same thing in Liverpool, much more difficult because it's not quite as advanced as Bristol in the options, but we looked at electric buses to transport people. We actually worked with the train company to put on more travel through train transport, basically to eliminate the car as far as possible. And we also looked at transportation of the production, the crew, and every other aspect of transport. It's not just audience transport, of course, related to the event, to see if we could reduce the emissions there. And the third thing we looked at was food and drink. And the Bristol event was wholly plant-based, which again gave massive savings in CO2 emissions. Nearly a third of the emissions that would have been were reduced by moving to a plant-based, plant-only based offering at the event. It was actually extremely popular as well. So those are my insights and the things that we are actually focusing on. As I said, biodiversity, the big three emitters, energy, travel and transport, and plant based, and also beyond all that, adaptation and resilience. I'm just going to end this by just mentioning our conference where we will be talking about all of those things on the 24th of February in central London, as well as introducing new topics, because something that we need to really focus and get to grips on now is the impact of AI. So we'll have a number of topics on that for a whole variety of reasons, which there isn't time to go into now. But so maybe we'll see some of you there. And that's it from me. I hope I made my 10 minutes.
Yes, you did. More or less. It was, thank you very much, Teresa. And I'm going to share a slide again. It was very interesting to get your view on the topic and learn more about what you are doing. Bear with me. I'm going to move to the correct slide. You will, to engage and involve all of you a little bit here, and to learn more about your views on this topic based on what you do in your organizations and your contexts. Teresa has a question that we would like for you to answer via the QR code. Would you like to address the question, Teresa, with your words?
Okay, so we're really interested to find out, obviously some of the things that I've mentioned may not affect you at all, or they might be very central to what you're grappling with, or there might be some completely different issues that I haven't touched on in my brief presentation. So we're really interested to see what environmental challenges you're facing through your events when you're staging your events. So as I said, it's environmental challenges to make your events more sustainable in the light of what I've been talking about, but are not restricted to, maybe something completely different. But we really want to know what those things are.
Thank you. And we'll give you a minute to, via your mobile camera, if you have one available, enter the QR code to give your response, and hopefully we'll have time at the end to share these responses as we wrap up. I'm going to give you a short while longer to respond. And with that, you have to bear with me again. I need to share the presentation again to include sound with our coming videos. Here we go. So then, giving you a bit more insights of this project and how it all began and the results that we have come up with. So MyRap is then a 3-year project, a shortening of music industry resilience acceleration program. And really as Teresa addressed, that the music industry indeed, as we all know, needs to be more resilient and adaptable to the climate changes and the challenges that we see in this area. So this project then came about 2.5 years ago, where a group of us from different countries across Europe, from different sectors and music ecosystem, concluded that we were facing shared challenges. And these challenges were skills and labor shortages, not the least with everything around COVID and the pandemics. This was very obvious. And also digital transformation of work with new technologies, digital solutions, and AI being a larger part of our work and our world in the music ecosystem. And then, as we are particularly addressing at this webinar, then the growing sustainability demands in an industry depending on travels, depending on cross-border exchange, transnational exchange. And we concluded in this group that these challenges cannot be solved alone, although the change must happen locally based on our unique preconditions and contexts. We need to collaborate. So we need to collaborate across the borders, which will accelerate this progress and helping everyone move faster. So how did we then do this? We agreed that what's needed is not long reports and texts. What's needed is adaptable, practical tools, scalable tools, which we then developed in these 3 key areas: skills, capacity, innovation networks, and sustainability in working groups. So these tools were then co-created by our partners in our working groups, focusing on different areas, and then tested the following year in our own ecosystems. And based on the results of these tests, we then improved these solutions and did that together to adapt them into tools that would be functional for others to use from their context, which was a approach which enabled cross-border learning, obviously, and long-term collaboration, and that will continue after this project ends, between us and between all of us, really, hopefully. And then what we really want and need as the outcome of a more resilient music ecosystem at the end. So this is, again, the first webinar of a series of webinars sharing the tools and the learnings and how it can be adapted to different needs and contexts. So that's really the background of the project. And again, to repeat, we early on agree that, okay, we'll not need long lists of information and theory and texts, novels of texts. Rather, what's needed is adaptable, practical, step-by-step tools that can be scalable and used with different preconditions based on where you are and what you do. So from left to right, to describe this, we can call it a toolbox with different compartments divided into these three focus areas. So we have the skills and capacity focus areas and a number of tools, tried and tested tools included in this area, and additional content complementing these tools included in the skills and capacity tool compartment, you could say. And then we have the innovation area with quite a few tools, as you can see there, also tried and tested within the partnership, and complementing content and information connected to that. And then what we're focusing on primarily at this webinar, as you know, it's the green sustainability area with its tools and additional information. And with that, we're happy and proud and excited to get to present some of the tools from our focus area, sustainability, my working group and I. But before we do that, we'd like to mention that we will soon be officially releasing the MyRap website that we have been working on for quite some time after the piloting of the solutions that we tried out, and it's all been collected into a website. It's already live, but not 100% finished. But here you will find all the tools, all the information, tons of supporting content, checklists, illustrating movies and contact information, etc., etc. Collection of good practices and much more. So you will obviously be provided with a presentation afterwards where you can also access this website. And we're happy to get your feedback from that. And with that, I am happy to hand over the microphone to Trond Moe Larsen from the Music Office in Oslo.
Thank you, Sarah. Do you hear me okay? Yeah, good. Yeah, like you said, my name is Trond Larsen. I'm based in Oslo. Work at the music office, Musikkontoret Oslo. Sorry, Musikkontoret Must. We've done an awareness raising campaign, a green awareness raising campaign. And we developed the idea together with a company called The Oslo Way. The idea was called Green Fan Travel. What we did was we wanted to get across the message that audience travel is one of the largest, maybe least addressed sources of emissions in the live music sector. What we didn't want to do was point a moral finger or do a shaming campaign. We would rather highlight and amplify the good and positive examples of both the green fans and not to forget the festivals. We did not want to put any more pressure or burden on the festivals. These are rather small festivals doing a lot of good work with very limited resources. So we wanted to highlight them as well as good green festivals. The method was to make it into something that was transferable across cities, genres, and at a very low cost. That was the main aim here. So next, please, Sarah. Yeah, so what we did, we announced a challenge, asked people to video record themselves, talk about which festival they wanted to go to, who they are, and how they plan to go there the greenest possible way. So this was a contest. And the reward on the other hand was that we paid the festival tickets and covered travel expenses for them. And we picked out three couples, friends couples, three couples, yeah. And this was then made into, they were sent out to document their planning and their travel. So this was like real fans doing real travel with their mobile phones, with minimal instructions, and just easily just upload their photos and videos to a drive. And then, of course, putting this all together for short films or reels. This was, I have to say, a lot of work because we just went along as we thought would work. And the guy who was supposed to edit this ended up with a lot of work, of course, but it ended up okay. Next, please, Sarah. So these are one of the couples, Mari and Sigrid. They traveled from Bergen to a festival called Bergtoppfestivalen. They went by bus and then hiking for most part, really. They went a total of 283 kilometers. They traveled for 35 hours and their emission was 62 kilograms of CO2 equivalents. We compared this to a kind of comfort route that was like the easy way. And they saved 60% on their traveling. And I have to mention that we used a tool called Green Producers Tool to calculate the CO2 emission on this one. Next, please, Sarah. Maja and Åse went to Vinjerock by carpooling. And understandably, they by filling up their car, instead of going 4 single cars, they saved 75% on CO2 emission. And next one, please, Sarah. One more back. Thank you. Last but not least, Simon and Christina, they had the longest journey all the way from Bergen to way up north at a island called Træna and Trænafestivalen. They went by train, by bus and ferry, and we can see how this reel ended up.
Da vi klar for å dra til Træna. Da vi fremme I Oslo. Nå det bare 2 reisedager igjen. Da er vi på vei til Trondheim. Klimasmart reise. Fremme i Trondheim.
Ankommet verdens navle.
Grong. Det er veldig fint her, da.
Her skal vi være i 3 timer. Så sitter vi på bussen til
Sandnessjø.
og ferdig til Træna.
Se utover Træna. Da er vi fremme på Trænafestivalen. Wow!
Yes, all right. And when this movie is uploaded to our webpage, it will run even more smoothly, I hope. Just to sum it up, this idea with the Green Fan Travel, it's an adaptable, adjustable, scalable idea, and it's engaging. What is most rewarding for the Green fans? We don't know, but we got the feeling that maybe many of these would have went with the challenge anyway, but during the documentation, probably the thing about that they would get this festival tickets and travel expenses covered were a thing that kept them going, because there was quite a bit of work for them as well. Finally, who could use this idea? I think it's an idea that could be very well set up for collaborations, festivals, municipalities, destination management, organization, tourist boards, also environmental organizations, of course, and transportation.
You're muted, Trond. You're muted.
I'm muted. How long have I been muted?
Since the word transportation.
Since the word transportation.
Tourist boards.
Yeah, and environmental organizations, transportation and service providers. So with that said, I will give the mic to Anja.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to have everybody here in this meeting, but really special warm welcome to UNESCO Cities Network, the music cities. Thank you that you are with us all around the world. My name is Anna Tarnowska. I'm from Bydgoszcz, the 8th largest city in Poland. I'm the head of the Bydgoszcz UNESCO City of Music Office. And I'm a leader of implementation, the UNESCO program in our city. Also, I'm a deputy CEO of the international programs in the City Center of Culture in Bydgoszcz and collaborate with international departments in the City Hall and other local authorities. What is important, I guess, my experience in the music industry dates back to my work in the local newspaper long time ago, where I was covering cultural and educational sections, also writing about local political affairs. I'm also the co-producer of 2 musician festivals in Bydgoszcz. One is an international festival of folk and traditional music Etniese, and the other one is International Festival of Rhythm and Percussion Art Drums Fusion. And this last one was used as a pilot in our project. Drums Fusion Festival, why? So this festival has always had ambitions that go beyond only musical presentations. It was the first festival in Poland to organize a day of inclusivity in the music industry, and it was also the first festival in Bydgoszcz to organize green zones of culture during the COVID pandemic. And year after year, we expanded our activities, which were to be based on sustainable development and achieving ecological goals. Being in my RAP project, honored and happy, our goal was to organize a Green Day during the biggest festival in the city, which means Transfusion Festival, and show the good practices how to organize such a green festival. We wanted also test the tools so that other festivals in Poland and Europe can benefit from them and simply follow our path. Our goal was also to engage the city authorities in the idea of sustainable development, especially since city belongs to UNESCO Creative City Network in the field of music since 2023. So Agenda 2030 is an important document for us we should follow. Therefore, we began by seeking partners to organize Green Day. We successfully established cooperation with the mayor, the director of the environmental departments, the energy departments, and the urban greenery department. This also included collaboration with the waste incineration plant and the municipal waterworks, as well as the large national-wide Good Energy Foundation. Also local restaurants and NGOs dedicated to environment protection also participated. They were all actively involved in creating this day. And here are the results. Thanks to Good Energy Foundation, the entire Green Day final concert was powered by energy from the photovoltaic farm located several kilometers from the city. Other festival attractions, such as outdoor cinema, were powered by human muscles power and bicycle riding connected to a special generator. Thanks to local gastronomy sector, we reduced plastic waste by 90% during the event. There were also no use of single-use plastic cups for drinks. Thanks to municipal waterworks, festival participants had access to free drinking water from special tanks. And thanks to the city's efforts, we organized a campaign to clean the river from metal waste using special magnesium and plant and flower meadows in the city center. The next slide, Sarah, please. And the key aspect of the Green Day for us was education about the sustainable development. We engaged over 30 schools in the city with over 350 children participating. They participated in workshops on creating percussion instruments from waste. This is, after all, our flagship festival product named the Children Recycling Orchestra. Under the baton on a professional percussionist, the children learned how to play the instrument they created. Furthermore, the children participated in workshop, planting a festival tree, and cleaning up the river and parks. They also created a green manifesto, which I will present to you in a moment. But this manifesto was read from the stage several times during Green Day. In summary, we managed to create a festival day that reduced energy consumption to a minimum, organized plastic waste management, and brought new greenery to the city. Many young people and children had the opportunity to learn good attitudes related to sustainable development, both theoretically and practically. And on the end, we have many key learning after that, but the most important are: 1. Sustainability is about operational decisions, not slogans. The biggest impact is transportation of artists and audience, energy for stages and backstage, catering and disposables. 2. Waste sorting only works with staff. The bins and pictograms themselves don't work. The public only sorts properly when someone is standing near by them. 3. The public wants to be eco-friendly, of course, but not at the expense of convenience. If something requires effort, people won't do it, so try to make the easiest solutions. And the last but not least, a sustainable festival is not cheaper, but it is more attractive to sponsors. In the short term, it means more work and often higher costs, but in the long term, it advantage its negotiation with sponsors, the city, and grants. Therefore, thank you so much for your attention, and please let's watch the Children Green Manifesto.
Dear peers, esteemed adults, today I speak on behalf of all those who cannot speak. On behalf of the trees whispering in the wind, the birds singing in the parks, and our river that wants to stay clean. Every great change begins with one small step. When we join forces, children, young people, and adults, we can make our city even more beautiful. Our city is our home, and you don't litter in your home, you take care of it. That's why today I ask and appeal to you. If you see litter, pick it up and throw it in the bin. Let's take care of our surroundings together with our families, friends and neighbours. Let's create local clean-up groups and tidy up our neighbourhoods. Every small gesture matters. The more people join us, the easier it will be to keep our city clean. Let's be kind to our city. Let's not wait for someone else to do it. Let's act now. Because we, the children, know one thing: the future is in our hands. Will you take care of our beautiful city with us? Dear peers,
Thank you very much, Anja and Trond, for presenting your tools. What we did in Gothenburg, one of the tests that we did was a big test on disposable-free events. And we did this connected to our annual city festival, Gothenburg Culture Festival, a year and a half ago. And I'm happy to share some of the learnings and results from this test, then being turned into a tool, also, of course, available on the MyRap website. And so with that, let me move slide. So as I'm sure you're all very well aware that events, they generate huge amounts of waste and carbon emissions, making festivals a negative experience in many different ways, especially busy outdoor festivals. And although there are regulations and EU regulations in place, not the least reducing single-use items and plastics, there are still practical solutions missing on site for festivals and outdoor events, reducing these disposable items. So this is a big challenge. So what we did, thanks to this project, was Sweden's largest test with reusables to date, with 60 food trucks and 2 large bars Maybe you can mute your microphone. Thank you. And 150,000 people over 4 days of this festival, where we replaced single-use tableware with reusable hard plastic plates and sporks. This guy here. And glasses being then recirculated via mobile dishwashing on site. And as you can imagine, this was a bit of a challenge. But before I share the results, I'd like to share a video. Yes, so there were many learnings from this test. We had, as I said, a lot of participants and visitors. We had beautiful sunny days, so about 150,000 people visiting the festival this time, which meant some losses of reusable items, of course. We had lots of communications on site. We had lots of hosts and guides supporting the visitors in returning the items afterwards. However, being that the festival is a large open space area, and there were no thresholds. On purpose, we wanted to have really low thresholds to make this a very positive experience for everyone, being that this was a test that we would learn from also. So with that, there were losses, and not the least, the little spork here, we think mainly ended up in people's homes for future picnics, which of course is not all negative, rather that than the waste bin, of course. But with that, we learned a lot. We had to adapt the logistics, and we took a lot of learnings from this. However, we saved a lot of single-use items with these tests, replacing them with reusables again, which meant a big saving for the environment and also economic savings for the vendors. And the dishwasher, restaurant dishwasher containers on site, they were very well used. So a very busy test, a big stress test for this whole system that we now can package, and which we can also improve, and which we can spread to others to hopefully adapt and use in their context, which is the whole purpose of this tool through the project. And with that, I can also mention that all the detailed learnings, all the steps that we did in this test, who we worked with, our outcomes and learnings going forward, they are collected or summarized in a learning manual available on the MyMap website connected to this tool. And I would also like to emphasize that everything on this site is, of course, free of charge. No costs whatsoever, free to use. With that, thank you very much for your attention presenting these tool examples. I would like to hand over to Trond again to present the next steps of the project.
Yes. All right. So, as some of you already know, we have 2 upcoming webinars. Some of you may even have signed up for them. With different tools, it's Innovation and Networking on the 11th of February and Skills Capacity webinar on the 18th of February. And as you can see, we've added a QR code. So again, if you can pick up your phone, this is for feedback on the webinar and also to map out who's interested in going further to talk with us about these subjects. Because in February and March, we are doing meetings and small groups, some tailored one-to-one or small group sessions based on your feedback. This is very much based around exchange of knowledge and experiences in these subjects. And finally, from April and onwards, we are doing a peer-to-peer program with selected IDs and cities around Europe. And again, all this, no fee involved. So it's just if you're interested in deep diving into this, please let us know through the questionnaire that you find on the QR code. We can go on, but the QR code will stay on for the next slide, so you can still, if you didn't have time to pick up your phone, you can do it now, and it's the same QR code underneath the Q&A. So while we talk, please just fill in this form, and yeah, thank you very much.
So we leave the floor open in case you have any questions to either Anja, Trond, and I, the partnership as a whole attending, or Teresa concerning the presentations that we've done. If you feel more comfortable, you can also, yeah, Christina?
Yes, thank you so much for this practical examples and also opening this like wider why and what is the project about and what's happening in different events. My question is about this, was it the Swedish event where you used reusables? Do you have central service provider who offers these cups and cutters and plates, or the event organizers have this equipment?
Very good question. For this test, we had a supplier where we rented the reusables from, and they also managed most of the logistics on site with the dishwashing, distributing reusables to the vendors, and communications concerning that logistic part as well. So there was a very close collaboration between us as an event organizer and the supplier. And to them, it was a major stress test because they had never done anything of this scale before. So they learned tons of this, as did we. And we have a really good collaboration with them. However, we have discussions and still have discussions of having a centralized system in the city, having these items stored for different events to use and rent, or however we figure that out. But that's definitely something that we're looking into as a future result of this.
So yeah, if you're interested, I can share maybe later via email the Estonian case, because we have this legislative support. It's mandatory to use reusables in huge public events. And also we have 2 service providers who have this like industrial washing lines and all the stock. So
would love that. Sounds like a dream. Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks. Any other questions that you'd like to address in the group? Otherwise, we can happily take questions via email or in the next phases of the project process of this project if you wish to continue to the coming phases. Before we wrap up, we're a bit just curious to see your answers to the Mentimeter poll. Yeah, we have a question, I think, before. Oh, we're going to return to the question after just sharing this. So, being the fact that we're from so many different places, different platforms, organizations, and just view some of the answers that came in to which challenges we're facing in terms of sustainability. Yeah, very interesting. Measuring sustainability is one. Budgeting, of course, is a big thing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this. We will take this with us as well. I will go back to sharing the presentation again. And yes, please, Stine.
Yes. Hi, I'm Stine from the event office in the city of Oslo. So I'm curious to hear a little bit about how the city of Gothenburg contributed in this project of the reusables. You said you worked with the city in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a municipality company organization, the destination management organization here in Gothenburg, 100% publicly owned. So we, for all our city events, which we manage on our own and supporting other external events a lot, we have a close collaboration with the city in terms of using the public spaces and having a smooth event from start to finish. So with this, we collaborated closely with the city managing these outdoor areas or squares where we have the events for the culture festival, and involved them in our plans for the reusable system test that we did, of course, as well as the waste management organizations that we collaborate with for these types of events. So I would say for this test that we did, we started a few months before the festival, speaking to all parties involved in the city, making sure that it will be as smoothly run as just possibly possible. So,
okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions for this group? If not, we are very happy that you joined us here today. Feel free to reach out to us via our email addresses or via the MyRap website platform, which is already available, although not publicly officially launched. But please reach out to us, and we're also really excited to read your responses to the questionnaire regarding your interest in the upcoming phases of what we call this transmission program of communicating our results. So with that said, thank you everyone for joining. We hope to be in touch with you again, and have a good continued Tuesday. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.